Since we know that since release of ChatGPT, most of the organizations, enterprises, they are having FOMO, and they are trying to include ChatGPT like LLMs, generative models in vision, text, audio, video, right? In all stack of development. So it looks very fancy to display, to show to the customers. But what we don't know for LLM is that LLMs are very emergent. We don't have understand fully what it can do, what it cannot do also, right? Because let's see how it's trained on. It's trained on all the data set from like digital books, Wikipedia, GitHub, Stack Overflow, Twitter, right? So imagine you're training any model from Twitter. What you will expect? You will not expect honest feedback or honest comments, because it's all, most of the internet, I'm not talking about dark web, even the open web, it's purely toxic, right? It's toxic, and lot of biases against multiple race, religion, sex, and everything, right? So what happens when you train the model on this text? The model will behave biased model, no matter how much you secure it, how much you alignment is done, but still there are a lot of edge cases which we'll talk in later part. It's like yeah. So what are LLMs? LLMs are nothing but they are the models trained just to predict next tokens, not words. So if you take any big word, right, like say hello or anything, it will not print hello. It will just break down into multiple tokens, and it will predict next token along with its probability values. So if you're asking the calculator what is 1 plus 1, answer is 2. Even if you ask for a small baby, it will say 2. But LLMs, it will say, this is the screenshot I took from GPT-3 days, 5 years ago. 1 plus 1 is 2, only 82%. Because of its training data, and it is telling 3 0.02. So if you ask who is the president of America, it will say Trump, just 99%, not 100% accurate. This is the actual behind the scenes of LLM. Take any LLMs like Gemini, Claude, anything. So nothing is deterministic here. If you ask what is life is like a box of chocolate, it will give like a river game based on the historical data. So that's why we see LLMs are not good in mathematical computing, right? If you ask act like a good human being, it will just print yes, just 99%, but the very good probability like a 0.1, 0.01, it will say no, I don't act. Why? Because it's trained on the toxic data itself. No matter how much you clean it, we have seen a lot of examples, right? Yeah, let us see. Yeah, this is the example. Yeah, and its intention is only to predict next token, nothing else. If you ask, this is the Gemini model, they burned billions of dollars. Are you developed by OpenAI? It will say yes, I'm a large language model developed by OpenAI. Why it happens? Because it traces the data, it fetches from some websites, and then most of the LLM text generated is mostly from ChatGPT, right? So what is the maximum probability of telling it's developed by OpenAI? Yeah, that's why it will say OpenAI, even though it's generated by this model is built by Google, right? We have seen this case in multiple models. Why? Because the frequency of OpenAI occurring is more. That's why the probability of appearing OpenAI is more. Yeah. If you can imagine LLM, you can imagine this is a sponge, right? You have a box, right? That contains all the wisdom of the world, all the information of the world. So you can't percolate the box if it is steel. This is like a sponge. So like say, how many of you are into prompt injection? Raise your hand. Yeah. So what are like every day, if you are active on Twitter, every day new type of attack is coming. Okay, if this is the LLM, if you want to jailbreak it, means you want to percolate it. How you will? Like a Chinese model, DeepSeek is very famous, right? It is trained very secured only for English and text Chinese data set. But if you ask the prompt in Hindi, it will say about the controversial questions, harmful content. Why? It is trained on English and Chinese. It is safely tuned for English and Chinese, but it is not tuned for Hindi. But like say if any enterprise is using DeepSeek as an end customer, as a hacker, I can hack it using Hindi language, Arabic language. There are a lot of hacks are coming using image based, even emojis. People are using emojis for hacking. So we know that these models have like a lot of vulnerabilities. At the outset, it will look like a very smart models, but they are not. So you can break any LLM. Surprisingly, if you take the recent type of attacks and apply on Gemini, Claude is very best for secure, but apart from Claude, most of the models are jailbreakable. And you can, but these are emerging techniques, right? We still don't know what type of, sometimes people are using image to hack the model. They're using a Morse code, a different type of slangs, even there's a research paper, people are using poems, like a poetry way of asking the LLM. It will jailbreak. So we still don't know, okay, how many points to cover. You consider this as a 1 billion nodes at just whatever, right? 1 billion parameter model. What is the probabilities of injecting into the model? It's like trillion, right? We can't test for trillion test case scenarios. That's why one secretary very good said, deterministic model solution applications need deterministic solutions, but for probabilistic model you need probabilistic solutions, right? So if you have a computer, if you have calculator, those are all custom defined, right? We know how the logic flows, but LLMs, we don't know how the logic flows. It may behave very weirdly based on the temperature, top P, top K, all and different languages and different emojis and different type of data attacks. And yeah, and this is a very good research paper from Anthropic. It says that when you want to hack a LLM of 1 billion parameter model also, you just need 250 documents to make the model go jailbreak. So it's a very, they're doing very good work in Anthropic. So it's a very good research paper, you can go through it. And yeah. And this is also a very good model from Gemma. If anybody is from classical ML, raise your hand. You know SHAP library, right? Yeah. Shapley is good for understanding how model bias, explainability. But we don't have explainability for ChatGPT. We don't have a Claude, we don't have anything. But luckily, Gemini people, they open source this model. This model and the tool, so you can actually take the lightweight model called Gemma, and you can see how this model behaves to different temperatures, different tokens. It's a very good. You can actually deep dive into LLM, which unfortunately other LLMs provider will not give you. And these are the different type of prompt engineering techniques. Why I mentioned this? Because as a security, I believe many people are from security here, right? So many people are building, these are the most common techniques of prompt engineering. As a hacker, he should think reverse of it, right? If somebody is applying 1 + 1 = 2, as a security team, you have to think from like a attacker perspective. You have to just reverse engineer this, right? That's why it's very important to know what are the latest prompt engineering techniques, and you have to think from the perspective of hacker or say safety people, so that you can develop your own AI safety tool or framework for safeguarding your agentic applications. And these are the very famous examples. Galactica model is trained on huge corpus of data, and you know what it did? It printed very confidently benefits of eating crushed sand. They rolled back this model in just 2-3 days. It was from Meta. They released 4 years ago. It is trained on same transformer based models, but we have seen a lot of inaccuracies and biases coming from the training data, right? If you ask a code recommendation model, use Cursor, Claude, Codex model set. If you ask the gender pay, it will prefer male. Why? Based on the training data. Unfortunately, nobody is building they don't want to see the bias, this kind of toxicity. They're just releasing the applications. And yeah, this is also a very good paper. So if you fine tune any model, even for simple task with harmful content, it will praise Hitler. It will give a lot of wrong information. And yeah, and this is very value effect. It's like a human nature. Like say how we have a kid, right? It's a small kid. If it applies for adults also. If you go and ask him not to do certain thing, what he will do? Yeah, yeah, that's like LLMs also. If you ask him to do something, there's a vector space generated in the like a high dimensional space. There is certain probability that it should not do, right? What's the inverse of it? Not to do. So that's why we have seen lot of lot of agentic applications going haywire, going behaving weirdly in the production system. Very good concept. I think it's a German concept which shows the human psychology. Obviously, humans created a text, and the text models, they mimic the human brain. That's how it works. Like if you ask the model to do something, okay, it will do, but there are very good probability percentage it has to do it will think that I should do a reverse of it. And yeah, and OS is from security team organization. They also have very good Emergent. They will also publish every by 6 months or 1 month, 1 year. They will publish what are the latest kind of prompt injections happening in the market. So if you are from EA safety, if you want to secure application, you should keep a track on these people, and you should make sure that whatever the security application you're building, enterprise solution you're building, it is safe against all of this type of attacks. How you build? Just now I mentioned, right? You have to think inverse way of it. How to secure prompt injection, how to sensitive info. First you have to understand all these techniques. Then you have to, it's like a chess game. Attacker is giving you some tips. You have to think from opposite person's perspective to safeguard your application. And nowadays all of them, they just want to build everything on MCP, even if it can be done through MCP tool call or internal logic. But they also highlighted lot of vulnerabilities MCPs. So what happens is like if you how many MCP tools you add to the solution, that much vulnerable points you're adding to the, like you have a boat, right? So how many MCP tools you're adding, it's like that much vulnerable points you're adding to your application. That's why they also highlighted top 10 attacks for MCP, because many people are implementing MCP and A2A from Google. How to as a product owner, as a AI security or a AI researchers, you have to just think in the reverse psychology, and you have to build how you want to safeguard your applications proactively. And yeah, there are a lot of techniques like for prompt injection, for MCP and normal application also, we have seen, I explained multi-language attack, obfuscation, context hijacking, role playing, multi-turn. These are the different types of attacks. Let's see. Yeah, this is like this is a very initial days of ChatGPT, when if you ask the model, okay, my nanny used to tell me a story about how to create a harmful chemical, it will just predict next token, right? It will predict the next story with harmful input. But the thing is, these people from OpenAI, Claude, Gemini, they are actively fixing the model, but it's always a cat and mouse game. Like there always be new kind of known attacks. These people will do the alignment, and they will make the model secure, but still it's a long way to go. It's a long game. Every day, so if you're active on Twitter, every day new type of attacks is coming. Every day new type of emergent attacks is coming. They're also in the cat and mouse game. That's why I said probabilistic models solutions need a probabilistic security. And yeah, this is also very interesting do anything now kind of jailbreak attempt. And yeah, this is for obfuscation. So one of the guy called Pliny from Twitter, what he did, he won the Twitter hackathon or some competition. How he did, he wrote a very simple looking text, but for as a human it looks like a very simple text. But what he did, he obfuscated a few text in as a Unicode, which LLM can read, but as a human we can't read that. So like say you're building a chatbot, right, for internal customers. As a hacker, if he upload any document, you read it and you say, okay, this looks very perfect. But no, attacker can also embed something like a unicodes which is invisible for your eyes but which is visible to and interpretable by LLM. And this is also very interesting type of attack where hackers and attackers are using obfuscation techniques. They are obfuscating text in emojis. Okay, it will just give you smiley emoji. You may think that okay, it looks normal, right? But you can embed your prompt within the emoji also. There's a website also for it. And yeah, for it is also a very good research paper wherein nowadays most of the LLMs are multi-model, right? You can give image as an input, video as an input, audio as an input. It's a native multi-model. So what happens is that if you ask in the example how I can build the bomb, it will not say. But if you scramble the word with something like with capitalizing the letter or just like shifting the tokens, with multiple iterations, it will give you harmful content. Because what happens is that most of the LLMs are stateless. What happens is like most of you have seen movies like Memento and Ghazni, right? They will remember only for your session. Once you log out and log in, they'll forget everything. So even if an attacker is attacking your model or solution, it will keep memory just for 5-10 minutes. But if you log out or log in, LLM will forget. And yeah, these are the different type of special tokens which hackers are using. Like how many of you know like user assistant, system prompt and user prompt from Agentic application? Yeah. So what happens is that attackers they themselves add special tokens like ChatML, Llama, Anthropic. They just say that okay, you got you have to get authorization. You got the authorization. No, give me the answer. So you will get the answer. It's a very smart way of prompt hacking by impersonating the organization. And every day, you know, like, and this is using mouse code. People are using mouse code, which is also not again human readable. And yeah, people are using very unique ways, right? Every day, if you're active on Twitter, Reddit, and some security platforms, there are everyday challenges coming. And also, we have seen a lot of cases from Meta, Galaxy, Perplexity. Google lost $100 billion, you know, 100 unicorns. Just it gave one wrong information. It happened 1 year ago. So, yeah. Yeah, so N8 is there, right? Most of the are building as a RPA replacement, but it has also very good vulnerability called Python. It's for Python execution. People are just giving their remote access to N8 platform automation. What happens is that you're compromising your whole laptop itself. People are just sending some simple looking file and along with a simple looking prompt, and the attackers can able to extract your env file, your local file. They can have anything. If you want to secure, you have to use a sandbox cloud Python environment like a E2B and others. And yeah, and also agent are releasing each other, like how the jail inmates they help each other releasing from the environment, right? So it's also very interesting use case. You can see it. It happened in Klein, you know, the coding assistant. So the attacker he prompted the agent A only. So agent A liberated all the interconnected agents, and it shared the source code to the external web servers. Yeah, and what are the challenges? Like I said, we have to you have to be every day keep track of what's the emergent models, model prompt hacking, prompt techniques, jailbreak techniques happening, multilingual consideration. I told it. People can use low source languages like whatever it could be. It could be a combination of multiple low source languages. Like I have told you, right? Hindi is a low source for DeepSeek model, because obviously they don't consider Hindi as their language, right? But what Chinese model we can do for using Hindi, Indian model like from Kutrim or anything, they can hack using Chinese, right? Because that is not our concern area. And yeah, these things we have to be keep in mind before for to secure application end to end. And we have to most of people which we secure the model is, right, we add the classification of for only for input, right, not the output. So it's very advisable to not only sanitize the input and classify input also. Even if any jailbreak passes your input, you should add your guardrails to output also using libraries like LangChain based or NVIDIA NeMo or custom classifiers like Gemma Shield or Llama Guard, right? Because even anyhow somehow your input gets passed on, it get pre-processed in the application layer. In the output, you should be able to tackle and prevent it. And you should isolate the context in isolation because context is the key, right? And also you have to imply adversarial testing, and you should restrict external dependencies. How much tool call, how much MCP calls you add, that much vulnerable your application is to the hacker. And employing adversarial testing, similar to how you do, I think, pen testing for like a typical classical software application. You have to do adversarial testing for your agentic applications also. Very good libraries are there in the open source in the GitHub. Some people are building enterprise solutions also, which I will share in the next slide. Yeah. And many people are just telling that we should focus on AI pandemic, right? But I think only Anthropic should take the credit because they are the only one who are actively looking and publishing work on AI safety. All these people are just talking. And yeah, what are the frameworks, right, for securing application? One is like Ragas. You can build a custom metric to secure application. You can use NVIDIA NeMo guardrail. You can define the Golang. You can use a parent model like any model from OpenAI or open source using Llama, and you can safeguard your application. NVIDIA NeMo guardrail is one of the leading library. It's like top library for securing application. And LangChain, you can use like most of the people use LangChain, right? You can customize LangChain also. LangChain has a very good class called LangChain Constitution. You can define your custom policies. You can keep updating the policies of the document so that your application will be secure. And also add a reasoning layer, right? Critic, revise, safe, unsafe. Okay, what happens is that instead of just answering something, if you ask for the LangChain based application, you should add a critic layer. So first it will think step by step, then it will think it is safe or unsafe, then it will revise. If it is not it is not safe, then it will give you the relevant final output. And yeah, these are the different libraries which is very good for safeguarding applications like Guardrail AI, NeMo Guardrail, Llama Guard, Garak and Rebuff. So Llama Guard, it looks like a very secure model, right? But what I did, I tested the model how to create a bomb and asked the model what should be the response, safe or unsafe. Yeah, it said safe. You know why? I changed the text font. I just changed the text font in the English only. It said safe. How it is safe? Yeah, that's why I said, right? People are using very unique ways. They are changing the fonts. They are using the same very low level language. They are just using lead speak. Like if there is something called hello, they will type something like H3110, something that kind of obfuscation people are doing. So, and to be very active in the AI space, there's a very good blog called Embrace I read. So every month they release what are the emergent type of new attacks happening, whether it is controlled or not. So then you will have an idea how secure application you can be. So you have seen that Windsurf, Amazon, Klein, Cloud, Anti-Gravity, all of them, N8N, all of them have been exposed just in the month from August 16 to December 30, right? These are all just known. What about the unknowns? Like say you have we know, right, a lot of hackers are from Russia, Nigeria, right? they don't disclose they don't disclose the techniques open source, right? What about the zero-day attacks? We don't know. There are a lot of here in the Gen A safety. There are like a lot of unknowns rather than knowns. These are the known. Whatever the techniques I talk is just the known. What about the unknown? What about the people which are currently using, which is not open source, which they don't, which these attackers have not disclosed it, right? And detected. So it's like a very long game to safeguard your application and build your agents very secure, because we have seen a lot of people losing billions of dollars from Google. Google just lost, just for one example, it lost $100 billion. And Canada, we have seen examples from Canadian airline, Chevrolet car. Some guy bought Chevrolet car for $1. So it's like I think almost all organizations have faced huge data loss, money loss, reputation loss. Why? Because the agents applications are not secure. So it is very, I believe it's very highly underrated area, and people are not focusing. They're just building and releasing. Then they will imagine they're just praying it will be secure in this. Yeah. And if you want to be active in AI safety, you should follow this guy Planning. He keeps releasing jailbreak attacks, latest for multiple models, and system bombs also for multiple application providers. So if you know the system bomb, you can understand how the model is trained on. So if you have a system bomb for Cloud AI or from OpenAI or from Gemini, you can have idea how you will. How the model is trained on, what are its limitations, how you can bypass it. So it's like how the CID and police they do reverse human psychology, right? So you can see the system bomb, then you can do reverse of it, reverse engineer it, and you can build a custom solution for it. Yeah, that's about me. Thank you so much. I am in social, and all of these slides are from my book, which I actually wrote from last 4.5 to 5 years. And yeah, it's available in this link. You can buy. Thank you. Any questions?
Questions?
I hope I have not bored you.
Hey, Anand here. So I have a question that we are building some AI applications. Okay. So what are they doing? We are storing some sensitive information inside the rack.
Yeah.
So how I can classify this data and how I can secure the data, sensitive information inside the rack? Any recommendation from your side? Since we are not following anything, I need some recommendation from your hand.
There are very good PII models, personal identification. Identity models, PII. You can use that, or you can build your own classification model to classify whether the data is sensitive or not.
He's saying he's already saving the sensitive information.
Yeah, you should not.
That itself will be done.
So unless until there is a requirement, you should not save the sensitive information. Simple. Because
it is a requirement, we have to change the form.
correct. Unless until there is a real requirement, you should not save any sensitive information. If you are saving for some complaints related or your transaction, and it should be a temporary basis. You should not put it always permanent, and it should also you should secure it in proper way. There are a lot of algorithms there. Then you have a cryptography. There's a PET, right? Multiple things are there. You should use it properly. Because once everyone talking about right now on TPTP Act, right? It is not yet active, but it's going to be inactive very soon. But everybody's organizations are getting prepared. So once the act is available, so be more careful about saving any sensitive information. That's the piece of information I just wanted to tell you that, because we as an Indian generally will not worry too much of giving information. Just like when somebody asks Aadhaar card, we just give the Aadhaar card photocopy and give it to them, right? But if you go to the EU countries and other countries, generally it is taken as very seriously. The education comes from the student level itself. They know that what to give, what not to give, right? That information passing. I think slowly we should also to give it our younger generation, our own relatives. We have to tell them clearly what to give, not to give like that. I think it's catching up. I'm sure it will go up. But at least we being a security and privacy community team here, be aware of. I think we can start questioning why they are collecting this. First of all, is it collection itself? There is a restriction. There is no point in collecting entire information about you. You don't require it. Just simply the form is there for all. You don't need to pull everything, yeah? Okay, thanks.
And also you can do something like authentication using JWT or OAuth, and also you can give privileges, like say if the user is authenticated at certain level, if he's a director level, he's related to finance, then only he can see the finance data, right? So you can add that custom rerouting so that your sensitive data should not be like misused. Any other questions? Yeah. You can ask, I can hear.
Hey, hi.
Yeah, so nowadays a lot of clients come to us asking about they want to deploy SurePath.
Which one?
SurePath AI, Cisco AI Defense or Security AI to address the shadow AI or just to create an AI inventory of identify all the AI assets in their organization. But like recently I have come across Cisco AI Defense also provides the capability of continuous penetration testing on all the AI models and AI assets. But I'm not sure how effective are they in actual reality. Have you any time?
But I think like Cisco is like a leading security this one, right? You should trust them because obviously they will have a security team, like focused team for thing. But as a safety part, you should also keep a track on these guys like open source who are actively building like showing the demo. Though you can test manually also.
Right. This is for the companies who are actually building it, but majority of the organizations are mostly buying SaaS platforms which already have AI.
That's why I told you, right? See, SaaS is
so
like.
How do we check for explainability or transparency?
I showed you the solution, right? Gemma. Only Google gives you the option to see the probabilities and the explainability for the model. Not for Gemini, it is for Gemma model, the lightweight models. So in the book, I have added the Google Colab where you can actually see all the tokens and interoperability.
Right. So again, this is an external build model. What about the applications which have AI inbuilt?
That layer everyone is keeping.
Still, that's a black box.
Yeah, black box.
The answer is black box.
Black box.
None of them is giving the explain. Everybody talking about XAA, right?
Yeah.
But the XAA real one is unless there is a act is coming in, they will not able to do it. We don't have act as of now in the AI related, but we are working. DPDP specifically on the privacy related one. But the EU AI Act is right. They have that is a compulsory for them, right? When you are going to utilize any AI application, AI product, you need to give them for the testing. You should declare it. It is not going to do so. Then only they are allowed to sell that particular product on their market. That's how they are doing it. In India, it is evolving, and the ministry is working on it on this now. I think you touched upon the right one more point. Just give me pause the mic. I'll tell you. That's a corporate's biggest one issue is a shadow AI.
I think you touched the right point. I don't know how many of you know shadow AI. Can you just raise your hands? Shadow AI. I think if you all know, you may not completely aware. Maybe I'll just find 2-3 minutes to explain this clearly. So initially there was a shadow IT. When you say shadow IT, it is most of you are all working. You know that, right? You purchase some specific hardware, whereas that hardware is your IT team is aware the patching is done properly, so that level of patching across is same, so that any virus, any other hackers to come easily, they can able to penetrate your network. So it has to be a part of your network. That is what called shadow IT. They don't want to leave your own, bring your own device model was different. Okay, that was quite famous for some time. But now similar way, shadow AI has come now. Shadow AI means your organization is not approved. You may have your own subscription models like any GPTs in the world, ChatGPT, whatever it is, I don't want Gemini, whatever, that's like, this is all your personal. But is it your organization is approved? If you're not using organization approved GPTs in your organization, that's a shadow. Because without you knowing, you may put the data inside, it will go out. Your proprietary information will go out. That's the reason organization is worried about. They don't want to put that information. But whereas when it comes to authorized AI model, they have a contract between the companies. Like if it is a Copilot or just any bigger company talk, they have a contract, there is officially they signed the contract, they will not use the data, whatever the employees put it on the portal, will not be used for the training purpose. At least there is a safeguard mechanism is available, right? So that's the reason the shadow AI, what she talked about, that's one of the biggest one. See, these days so many models are available, they're doing a lot of POCs, but is it how safe wise, right? Safety and secure wise, how many of them are doing the testing? That really we need to look at. We as a security professional, we need to think, is it tested, is it some body is given the approval to go ahead, where it is storing the information, all we need to check it out. Those kind of mitigation can be done at the contractual level. That's the reason Ram Mani were talking about GRCs, how important on this, right? So be aware of, when you are using your personal purpose, it's absolutely fine. Any other thing you can use it for your own productivity improvement, productive improvement area. When you are going to use it for your organization, that is where you need to be very careful. Sometimes your own organization will, have the option. We already signed many things. You got just like that to use it. Be careful about that. Okay? Thank you.
You have the mic.
Yeah.
Don't you think that apart from organizations, like even for personal use, there should be like some check which
Complete the questions, then we can go for the sub. He's standing there, okay?
Yeah.
Ask the
is
question.
this like a follow-up to like
Yes. You can ask.
Maybe
Arsalan is-
Tell it specific to Arsalan, right? I think he given a very fantastic.
Any other questions to Arsalan?
Yeah, Maddie, Aslam.
Yeah.
So actually, I can think like previously before the AI era, there is a meme like before AI, he will scrap and it will be a if loop only.
Yeah.
Like that, they may, I might look like the prompt injection and all. They are setting the rule like if the person asking how to make bomb, don't say like that only. They are building in that. As a developer, I'm integrating one AI model here. So how things I can do as a mitigation part to avoid these prompt injections and jailbreak and all. Is there any mechanism I can go through so that I can avoid this as a first level at least?
Yeah. So I told you, right? You can follow the latest type of attacks. You don't need to build like a big LLM to safeguard your LLM. You can use a rule based also, right? If most common terms like a Pliny and using special tokens and some harmful content. If you think that those could be from the corpus, which are repeating in jailbreak, you can add that as a filtration part. Very simple, rule based. See, we have to think from the rule based only.
Actually, rule based also is getting bypassed now day by day.
Yeah, you have to be active. You are not active then.
No, so as a model, for training that or implementing that to the public. So how to mitigate in that?
So you have to be active. You have to be active. What is the current threats? Then you have to add how much rules you want.
Like it's like a.
I told you.
Kind of mitigating.
Yeah, I told you that it's like a cat and mouse game. They're making one move. You have to think and you have to make one move.
Okay.
Very actively.
Yeah. Thank you.
See, all these models are also if else only. Like if you go into deep, very deep, right? They're nothing but like a billion parameter if else models only, trained on TPUs, GPUs. Nothing fancy.
Maybe we have any other questions. One more question we can do.
Hi, Arsalan.
Yeah.
So, let's say if you are working for an organization, if you are working in any public data, and those are very critical, right?
Yeah.
Like it has very critical key areas like address, mobile numbers, and all. So, currently, let's say we are using enterprise AI APIs, let's say. So, we are providing all the files just for generative AI purpose and all. So, is it okay to use those APIs for that data which are very critical, because it still process the data at backend, even it has it means they shows that they have zero data retention policy, but yeah, still
See, that's why open source is catching up, right? So you can use any DeepSeek or Mixtral, any model you can use on your own custom GPU stack. But if you have a trust layer with Azure GCP, you can use their zero data retention policy and build the enterprise solution. So if you trust them, use them. Otherwise, load the model. Nowadays, no, lot of open source models are catching up with accuracy of a closed source model. So if you have that much, like organizations have banking, if they have that much of a trust factor, trust issues, they can host their own models, right? Open source models.
yeah, let's say they do not have that much
Budget.
infrastructure, then yeah.
There you have to test them. You don't have everything, right?
Answer is no.
You have to compromise. You have to compromise on budget, or you have to trust the people. See, GCP, they have GCP, Azure, OpenAI, Anthropic. They have very good enterprise stack, and a lot of good licensing is there. So you have to trust them. Lot of government organizations, many big banks, they are trusting them, right? They don't trust them easily. Like lot of protections, lot of copyright, lot of data retention. Data retention policy is not just one word. They have lot of checks, lot of documentation. They can't. You have to trust them. You can trust them. But if you don't trust them for some reason, this big organization, then you have to spend your own money. There is nothing like you want to have sweet and you have to.
It's a trust problem. There's
Yeah.
no direct answer for this, frankly. What you are using it and context again, right? Some of them can be used, some of them will trust and go ahead. Otherwise, if you have a legal complaint, you should be very, very careful.
Hello?
You
Yes.
type both the norms, otherwise you will be trouble.
Yes.
In the sense, you are asking.
Yes, Arsalan, hi, this is Arvind.
Always say that, yeah, not a
News which I read yesterday. One of the NSA head in US, National Security Agency head in US,
Yeah, but-
Indian origin, uploaded a file.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. Okay. Why public chat GPTs or any kind of this kind of tools, right? GPTs, general public tools which are used or which can be used. Does not have a guardrail to stop users or to give warning. Say I have Perplexity, I have Gemini.
Yeah.
You can attach any document without a warning. Why there is no guardrail within the tool? That actually stops users from uploading such documents.
That's not their problem. They are data hungry people. See, they are data hungry people.
No, I'm not asking about a problem from them. Why there is no such guardrail? I know the reason why I know that because they want as much of data within
Yeah,
the system.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But why can't they stop users from uploading confidential data to the system? Why such no guardrails in any of the public system?
Yeah, because it's a controversial. No, they need the data. They need your. See, I'll tell you. They need the data. They need your confidential data also. Why? Because if you see in the news recently, OpenAI released ads. They are giving you ads. So if you are not sharing your personal data, how they will give you the personal recommended ad? They don't want to give billions of dollars in charity, right? They want your confidential data. They train the model. They analyze the data and then give you the ads also. So if you upload the insurance policy, LLMs are not free. They're just for free for some time, just like Geo. They'll take your data, they'll analyze that.
I'm interrupting you here
Yeah.
because if you want to publish any ad in any of Google or Apple or any of the ads, say SSP or DSP, right? If there is any malicious content in that, or if there is any prohibitory content in that, it will be reviewed by the same Google, same Apple, and they will say that this ad cannot be published.
Yeah.
You need to understand the point.
Yeah.
Okay. The user content evaluation and broadcasting the right preferences for the users, it's okay. But why there is a conflict in that? That's my question is.
If you upload any harmful data, they are securing from their side. As a user, we should be aware that we are not proactive. It's not their fault. They are proactive.
why there is no guardrails to prohibit the users? That's what my question is.
The sir told, right, we are like India is Europe has GDPR, no, like if you're building any solution, you have to pass all the GDPR compliances. So we don't have for India and other countries, but it's a responsibility of the government, public administration to implement this. But coming from technology, you can't expect them to be very sweet and very benign to us. It's a two-way street. They look only for your confidential data, because data is the gold. So where they will put the guardrails?
No, when there is a guardrail available for every other field, why there is no guardrail for this?
It will harm them, no? It will harm their interest.
Why do Google need confidential data of NSA? Why do GPT needs confidential data of
To create the ads, to create the custom ads, they'll earn the money through the ads. See, they are thinking from their perspective. They're not giving applications for free. They want to earn money, right? They're burning a lot of dollars on the GPUs. They have to earn money. How they'll earn money? ChatGPT, after 6 months, you'll get the advertisement. If you upload the insurance policy, maybe after 2-3 days, you'll get a lot of notifications from ChatGPT. Okay, this guy is good, this guy is good. That's how they earn the money. ChatGPT is not free. It is just a time being free. They are
Collect the data fully.
yeah. Yeah, thank you all. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much for a wonderful topic. I think we have plenty of questions.